Welcome back to Ham Radio Test and Review. My name is Dave. My call sign is N8DAV. The motto for my channel is one test is worth 1,000 expert opinions. Today, I'm going to be reviewing a new antenna. It's a dual band HT antenna from a company called Gabil. Now I used to pronounce it Gabil, but apparently it's pronounced Gabil. The model number for this antenna is GRA-SMA24. It is a dual band antenna for the 2 meter and 70 centimeter bands. It is 16 1/8 inches long. It's a rubberized whip with a BNC connector. It's specified as 50 ohms and no SWR is specified by the manufacturer whatsoever. It is specified as being a maximum of 10 watts. And they do specify that there is a gain of 2.15 dB on this particular antenna. This particular antenna also is not any specific wavelength and is not resonant on any frequency. So when I come back, I will show you what it looks like and the packaging, and then after that we'll start with the testing. Be right back. So here's the antenna. This is the BNC connector on the bottom. It's very, very small little base, which is pretty cool. And also too, this strip right along here is rubberized, so it's easier for you to get your fingers on it and turn it. Especially for people like me who've got arthritis in your fingers, it makes it a little bit easier. However, well, I'll go on to the rest of it. This is a very wiggly kind of whip, but it is stiff enough to pretty much hold its horizontal position when I turn it horizontal. So while I don't like it being quite like this whippy or wiggly, however you want to say it, it does hold its position. So I'll go ahead and say that this is a pass as far as that my opinion is concerned on this. However, this quality of this antenna is not up to snuff, and I'll tell you why. I don't know if you can see this or not, but when I turn this in a certain way, you can see that out of the base that goes straight up, the antenna cocks off at an angle very slightly. So it doesn't come perfectly straight out of the base. That's a quality issue and it should be addressed, and hopefully it'll still perform well, but we don't know yet until I put it on the test bed. Also, it does come with nice packaging. This is a nice blue color. And it's printed very nicely. It's just a cheap plastic sleeve, but it's okay. Of course, it doesn't come with a rubber grommet because, of course, it's got the BNC connector. Now, what did I pay for this? I paid for $11.99. Oh, I'm sorry. Nope. I paid $30 for this antenna on Amazon for the Gabil antenna. So for that kind of money, I really expect the quality to be a whole heck of a lot better, so the antenna doesn't come out cockeyed out of the base. So something to take into consideration. Anyway, let's get to testing. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. We're going to test the Gabil GRA-SMA24 HT antenna. It's a dual band antenna. First, we're going to test on the 2 meter band on the national calling frequency, and we come up with an SWR of 1.37, 1.34. Next up, we are going to test the Gabil GRA-SMA24 antenna on the 70 centimeter calling frequency. And we come up with a SWR of 1.00. It's obvious that this antenna has been tuned to the 70 centimeter band. And last but not least, and for all of our GMRS fans out there, we do test all of our dual band antennas on the GMRS channel 16. So we'll test for SWR, and we come up with an SWR of 1.00. All right, like I always do, I always back up the testing of the power SWR meter, which gives you a generalized idea of what your SWR is, with the NanoVNA antenna analyzer, which is going to be a lot more specific and probably a lot more accurate. So let's turn this on. It's going to default to the 2 meter band. And at the national calling frequency, we got an SWR of 2.31. Right, next, we're going to test on the 70 centimeter band at 446, which is where we tested on the power SWR meter. That's the national calling frequency. And that is an SWR of 1.348. And for all of our GMRS fans out there, we are going to test this Gabil antenna on the GMRS band. And we're going to do that on 462.575. And that is an SWR of 1.469. All right, next test up is for field strength. And what I do is I use the same radio every single time with a brand new fresh battery. I test this at a prescribed distance using all the same equipment with the exception of the antenna that we're testing. So this way I can take the results that we get at the end of the video. I will get back with you and I will compare the results of the field strength testing with all the other antennas that I've tested so far. So here we are on the 2 meter band testing the Gabil GRA-SMA24 antenna. Now testing the field strength on the 70 centimeter band. And as I always do, I'm going to do one final test of field strength on the GMRS band, channel 16. All right, I'm back out at my favorite park for testing antennas called Fox Glen Park here in Flagstaff, Arizona. Today I'm testing the Gabil GRA-SMA24 whip antenna, and the distance that I'll be testing at is approximately 2.6 miles as the crow flies. It's not completely line of sight because I can't see my base station antenna from here. It's blocked off by many trees and a couple of homes, maybe a building or two, a freeway overpass, and a partial hill. So this is very hard for antennas to get into my base station. And so anyway, so I'm going to be testing this new Gabil antenna, and let's see how it works. N8DAV, testing 1, 2, 3, 4.
N8DAV, testing 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wow, that actually was pretty good. I think that there was some sizzle in there. There was some static for sure, but I think that was a better result than what I call a fair result. I usually go fail, fair, good, and excellent. So in this particular case, I've only had maybe 1 or 2 excellent results since I started doing this here in Flagstaff. I've had just a few goods, mostly fairs, and 1 or 2 fails. And in this particular case, I call this one good. Yeah, but the results are what they are, and that's why we test. One test is worth 1,000 expert opinions. So when you see me next, I'll be back at my shack, and I'll give you my opinion, and we'll sum up all the results, and you can make a decision for yourself whether this might be the antenna for you or not. I'll be right back at the shack. Well, so what did we learn today? This is the Gabil GRA-SMA24 dual band antenna. So what we did today is we tested on the power SWR meter. We got on the 2 meter band, we got 1.34. On the 70 centimeter band, we got 1. And on channel 16 or GMRS, we got 1. However, we got some different results using the NanoVNA antenna analyzer. I would think that they would be a little more accurate than the power SWR meter. On the NanoVNA, on the 2 meter, we got 2.312. Now, don't let that fool you. I know everybody says 2.0 or less, but that's for big high power radios. HTs are designed to be a lot tougher as far as SWR is concerned, because most of the antennas are not going to get that kind of good SWR. So I like to say, and this is just my opinion only, that if you have an SWR of 3.0 or less, you're doing good with an HT antenna. So for 2 meter, I still say that that's good. Now, it's not close to what I came up with the power SWR meter. It's about a 1 point difference, and I think that's quite a bit. However, on the 70 centimeter, we got less than 0.5 differences, and the SWR on the 70 centimeter was 1.348, and on GMRS was 1.469. Again, both less than 0.5 points between what I got on the power SWR meter and the NanoVNA. But here's where things change. The field strength test was very, very different. It was this antenna performed very poorly on 2 meter. Now, that doesn't mean that in the real world it'll perform poorly. It's just another data point for you to put in your brain, and so you can think about what's going to happen here. But on the 2 meter band, it performed pretty poorly compared to all the other antennas that I tested. On the 70 centimeter band, once again, it performed less, and it didn't perform poorly, but it performed significantly less than what other antennas have performed in this test. However, on the GMRS test, it performed average. So you can see that they probably tuned this antenna for either 70 centimeter or GMRS, because you can see the field strength getting better and better and better. Comparatively speaking, sorry, I'm having a hard time speaking today. Comparatively speaking to all the other antennas that I've tested, and that's just on average now. It did better than a couple of antennas, especially on GMRS, but it did very average on 70 centimeter and way below average on 2 meter. So, you know, it is what it is. Now, on the real world distance testing and modulation testing, this antenna worked very well. Now, I almost always test on the UHF band when I do the distance testing, basically because the higher frequency has a little bit better tendency to get through all the obstructions that I have here, which are mostly trees, but there is a house or two in between that could be blocking it, and some other stuff too. But the UHF band seems to get through to my base station antenna just a little bit better. So I try to give the advantage, if there is one, to the HT antennas. So I always test on UHF channel 445.0. This antenna did very well. It got what I call a good rating. In all the antennas that I've tested out at this park, all on UHF frequencies, this is one of very few antennas that got a good rating. I've only had one or two, I can't remember exactly how many, that got an excellent rating. I've only had 2 or 3 that have gotten a good rating, and this is one of them. So if you're going to be operating on the 70 centimeter band a lot, this might be the antenna for you. Now, sorry about that. I actually brought the radio with me. This is my Baofeng UV-17 Pro GPS. I think it's one of the best radios that Baofeng has ever made. Not the best, but one of the best. And this is what it looks like with the antenna on it. So you can see. It's a little long in my opinion. You know, I kind of like this form factor, but I would prefer it more in an 8-inch, 7 to 8-inch length rather than the 15-inch length like it is. It wouldn't whip around anywhere near as much. Just my opinion, all right? I'll stick it up here so it doesn't fall down. So, now what do I think about this antenna? I thought that it did a great job, or a good job, let's see, I'm not going to say great. Did a good job on the distance testing, better than most of the other antennas that I've tested. However, it's only on one band. You got to remember that. I only test on the UHF band. Unless I'm testing a GMRS antenna, then I test on the GMRS channels. But it's $30. I paid $30 for this thing. That's a lot of money for, I don't know if I want to call it a name brand antenna. Gabil is making a name for itself in this industry. I have to admit, I've got some other Gabil antennas, and I'm keeping them for personal use. I've been using them. And so I think some of their antennas are good. Would I pay $30 for this antenna? I don't think so. Unless, of course, I was going to be doing mostly 70 centimeter work, and I wanted a longer antenna in the 15-inch range. This may be a really good antenna for you if that's what you're looking at. But I don't think I would. There's other antennas out there that are a lot cheaper that performed almost as well. The problem is the ones that performed either as well or better were all diamond and comet antennas in the $30 range, so, or $25 to $30 range. So I would probably prefer to buy one of those antennas because they perform better on the 2 meter and the 70 centimeter band, and in some cases GMRS as well. So, I'm not trying to dissuade you from this antenna, but I'm not saying I'm going to recommend it either. All right. So that's just my opinion, though. Remember, all the testing that we did is worth 1,000 expert opinions. Make up your own mind based on the results that we got. All right. All right. Very good. Thanks a lot. This is and I just wanted to please ask you a favor. If you like my content, please like and subscribe to my channel. And if you really want to see more content, then please click on the bell icon and you'll be notified every time I release a new video. So I would really appreciate it. It means a lot to me because I'm really trying to grow the channel now. So anyway, this is Dave with Ham Radio Test and Review in beautiful, just absolutely gorgeous Flagstaff, Arizona, and saying 73 and so long.